Hello. The United States is currently having its Sadi Sati, and what this is when Saturn transits over the moon. So it starts when Saturn hits the 12th house from the moon, goes over the moon, and then hits the second house from the moon. And this usually takes about 7.5 years because Saturn stays in a sign for roughly 2.5 years. So that's 3 signs, 7.5 years. And right now, Saturn is pretty much on the natal United States moon. And that degree mark is actually 7 degrees 14 minutes of Aquarius. The issues that Saturn is going to be bringing up, because that's what Saturn does, a Sadi Sati is a cleansing. Saturn brings up things that aren't serving you, so that you can transform your life, you can grow and heal and move in a much better or more positive or lighter direction, moving more towards the light. And that is what this Sadi Sati is all about. So the issues that we're going to be looking at involve the third house, because Aquarius is the third house of the United States chart, as well as the nakshatra, or the house of the moon that the moon is placed in, that Saturn is going over. In Vedic astrology, now I have to remind everybody that I practice Vedic astrology, which is a sidereal system, not a tropical system practiced by most Western astrologers. So what I am looking at is the exact location of the planets in the sky. So that's why I said that the United States natal moon is in Aquarius, and that is where Saturn is transiting at this time. The issues that are going to come up that we're going to be looking at involve things related to the third house in Aquarius. Now, Aquarius is a humanitarian sign, so we're going to be looking at humane ways of solving our problems. The issues that are going to be coming up involving the third house are communication, how we communicate with each other. Now, the second house, when we talked about the Pluto return, involves the mouth, specifically what comes out of your mouth. And it does relate to the third house in that the third house involves mass communications. So we're going to be looking at the news media, the social media, the internet, tech companies that provide us with the internet, and any other corporation that provides communication. So that can also be written communications like newspapers or magazines, books, things like that. And what's been happening since Saturn has been transiting over this particular home is our house, is that we are starting to see the corruption in the media, that we haven't always been told the truth. So that is being revealed. And how we have been censored, that is also being revealed, and who the players are. And we're looking at it so that we can fix it, so that the media can start, telling us the truth possibly, so that we can trust our communications. All of that is being looked at, and Saturn is bringing all these things to the light. The other thing that the third house covers is transportation, and it's usually transportation within our borders because it's short distance travels. But it's not only transportation, transporting how we get humans from one area to the next, but also our goods and services, as well as anything else that we are transporting. So we're going to be looking at, apparently there's been some issues, I guess, with airlines and things like that. So that's going to be looked at. We also had a trucker situation, and we've had some derailments of trains. So we're going to be needing to look at how we can transport our goods and services and our humans and everything else that we're transporting. And when I say human, I'm not talking human trafficking. I'm talking about people going on trips. That's what I'm talking about, to be clear. How we can do that safely, how we can get our goods and services and everything and transported safely. So that's what we are going to be looking at. The other thing the third house represents is lower education. And by that, I mean K through high school. The education that our children are getting. Things are coming to the surface that were hidden, that we did not know about our children's education. And it is also opposite the ninth house. The ninth house represents higher education, so universities and colleges. So we are starting to see the types of education that our children are getting, what they are getting exposed to, and not only exposed to in the schools and the universities, but all in colleges, but also what they are being exposed to on social media and the internet and television. That also falls into that category. Radio and television and newspapers, magazines, any type of mass communication. What our children are being exposed to. That is what we're going to be looking at. And we're going to be coming up with creative ways of healing these issues, because the third house is all about creativity. So that's why it's all being brought to the light, so that we can purify, we can heal, we can find creative solutions and move on, and we can evolve as human beings. The house that the natal moon of the United States is in, the house of the moon, or nakshatra, is called Shatabishak. Now, Shatabishak happens to fall into a white mansion of the moon. We as Vedic astrologers not only look at the signs and the houses and the sun, but we are more based on a lunar system. So we are very concerned about where the moon is placed. And we have divided the zodiac into 27 houses of the moon called nakshatras. And this gives us a clearer indication, because all the nakshatras have different characteristics and attributes. And so this gives us a clearer indication of what's really going on. The nakshatras are divided into 3 colors. You have black nakshatras or mansions, white mansions, and red mansions. And Shatabishak happens to be in a white mansion. The white mansions of the moon span from Sagittarius to Pisces, and they are all about purification as well as spirituality. So we are going through a cleansing. We're going through a purifying situation. Why are we going through this? So that we can heal, so that we can raise our consciousness, we can evolve as human beings. And so that's what it's all about. Now, Shatabishak stands for 100 healers. And it will bring us, with the moon being there and Saturn going over it, it's going to bring us miracle healings, actually, in the areas of diseases and mental illness, because Shatabishak represents mental illness that we have not been able to heal. We are going to find solutions for that. And Shatabishak also deals with addictions. And right now, not only the United States, but the whole world is going through a crisis of addictions. And that is going to be looked at and addressed. So we are going to find creative ways of healing, creative ways of dealing with the addictions. And it also we can develop creative ways of healing diseases related to diet, like diabetes, that type of thing. So we'll see some miracle healings there. The other thing that Shatabishak deals with is stargazing. So I believe that we're going to find more of an interest in astrology. People are going to be looking into astrology to see how it can enhance their lives and improve their lives. That's going to happen. But not only that, we are going to be looking at the UFO situation. Not only UFOs that are sent over our nation by other countries, but the UFOs also that people have been seeing for years that have been hidden. Very notable people, respected people, have been citing UFOs. And not only in the United States, but governments all over the world have been keeping that hush-hush from the people. And I think the reason why they are doing that is because they are afraid they will scare the masses. But we are going to see this information coming out. And we're going to be looking at that. What are the UFOs trying to teach us? Why are they here? What is going on? Are they protecting us? Are they saving us from destroying ourselves? I don't know. Could be. That is a good question. So the bottom line to this whole Sadi Sati, and lots of people fear them, is that it's a purification process so that we can evolve as human beings. It is the play between the light and the dark. And remember, the light always wins. We are being forced to turn back to our true purpose, the true meaning of life, what is really important, and being forced to turn back to God for the answers, or whoever you believe God is, return back to spirituality and return back to your religious beliefs to find the answers. And by doing that, we will be guided and we will evolve as human beings, because Jupiter going into Aries is, and he will do that on April 21st and be there for a year, is all about new beginnings. New beginnings. So this cleansing, this purification process, bringing everything that's hidden to the light, is all about new beginnings, so that we can start over, we can heal what needs to be healed, and we can move on and evolve as human beings. So there you have it. Be sure to subscribe to my station and click all notifications so you don't miss any new videos. And visit me at my website, www.michellebond007.com. And while you're there, sign up for my free newsletter so you're always informed. And book an appointment if you want to see how the energy specifically will play out in your life. Again, that's michellebond007.com. Be inspired, be empowered, and I will see you next time.